Hello YouTube, I'm Dapie45 and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be looking for some bugs. After I watched the movie A Bug's Life, I realized an ant will make a really good pet. So I'm out here looking for some ants. And of course, it's best to look for ants on the outside, especially in this huge field of grass where ants like to find food and just live around. So I'm going to look around with my trusty magnifying glass. Well, I couldn't find any ants. I want to try to capture this roly-poly because I think this will make for a great pet. Yeah, looks like I caught him. So while I didn't find an ant like I was looking for, I caught a nice roly-poly, which is in here. You can probably see him right there. So thank you guys for watching. And since he's my new pet, I do want to spend time with him. So what better thing to do with a pet that you just get than watch A Bug's Life, so I can see how his life is and learn how the intricacy of a bug's life can be. But before I watch the movie, I should probably give him a name. How about Rolly, the roly-poly? Alright, Rolly, let's watch this movie. What did I just watch? Well, Rolly, looks like we're gonna have to do a review of this movie. This movie follows a colony of ants that are ruled over by a bunch of grasshoppers. The grasshoppers scare the ants to gather food for them. So while the colony of ants are gathering food for the grasshoppers, this one ant, Flick, accidentally drops all the food into the nearby pond, meaning that the grasshoppers or the ants cannot get the food. So the grasshoppers scare the colony of ants, saying that they will come back and kill their queen if they don't gather enough food before the last leaf drops or when fall comes. This causes the ant that lost all the food in the first place to have to go out and find some bugs to fight off the grasshoppers. However, instead of finding fighting bugs, he finds circus bugs. This is Pixar's second movie, so the animation in it isn't the best, and the story isn't the best either, because it's just a generic underdog story where the underdog beats the bad guy in the end. But it is unique that they use bugs instead of people. Even though many of the characters in this movie are forgettable, and this movie just in general is forgettable, I do like the character of Flick a lot. Flick is just one of those classic underdog characters which I really like. And I also do like some of the other circus bugs that appear in this movie since they are a little unique. However, there are too many bugs in this movie to keep track of. Even though bugs are everywhere in the world and that's supposed to be represented in this movie by showing just how many ants there are and other bugs are in this world. However, it's just that you have to remember so many of the circus bugs names and the ants names. It just gets so confusing and complex as there's so many of them. The ending of this movie is pretty predictable. However, in the movie there are some good parts I do find enjoyable that I do like to laugh at whenever I watch this movie. However, even with those occasional funny moments in this movie, it doesn't compare to the other Pixar movies that have released since then. Of course, when looking when this movie was released, it was released between Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2. Both really great movies that overshadow this movie, because while this is good, these movies were just amazing compared to this movie. And also, around this time when this movie was released, another movie called Ants was coming out, which also followed a colony of ants. So it did draw some attention away from this movie and put it towards that other movie, so it was a little split, and it just isn't as memorable to this day. A good thing that came out from this movie was an area in the Park of California Adventure called the Bugs Land, which had different rides and attractions that were geared towards the little kids that were based off of this movie. But sadly, they did close the Bugs Land in California Adventure, and while I do miss a Bugs Land and I wish I could go back to the rides there and just walk around again, I am excited for the new Marvel area that they're going to put in, but I do have that soft spot in my heart for a Bugs Land. I give this movie my final rating of a 5.5 out of 10. It has some entertaining parts, but it's just not enough to make it a good movie altogether. And since it is just a generic underdog story, there isn't anything too unique other than the fact that they're all bugs. So that was my review of the movie A Bug's Life. So now I'm going to pick the next movie from the cup. And it looks like I'll be doing the movie Monsters Inc. So that concludes my review of A Bug's Life. So now I think I must do something that I wish I didn't have to do. I must release Rolly back out into the wild. Well, Rolly, we had some great times together, but I gotta let you live off your life. Goodbye, Rolly. 'You 'will be missed. I sure do miss Rolly. He was such a great pet. Even though I didn't have him for that long, I still had a great connection with him. But I had to let him out in the wild for his own good. But of course, Rolly would want me to move on, fill up that empty void that he left in my heart. So guys, be prepared to meet my new pet. His name's Rocky.